I just stuck a bull. This bull has been sounding gnarly, nasty. On my right, there's two bulls fighting. I can see them going, their bodies moving back and forth between the trees. And then all of a sudden I hear this. There's another bull right there. Walking through his aspens.
I shot him. Did you hear that?
No. Oh. We both just shot the same bull.
I shot him first.
He shot him first. Oh my gosh. What a heck of a pursuit, dude. All freaking day.
When your buddy calls you, says you got a buck down. And what does he got? A buck down.
Look what I found.
What a sweet coos, man. Opening day, heck yeah. Way to go, Steve.
Arizona Archery Club is a premier partner with Bowhunting AZ. When it comes to attention to detail and a fiery passion, Arizona Archery Club brings it all to the table. With all the latest bows and archery equipment, you can demo every single model in person free of charge in their multiple demo rooms. Walk through the process with an experienced bow tech and see which bow is right for you without the sales pressure. Their indoor archery range offers air-conditioned lanes where you can shoot out to 40 yards. Take this awesome opportunity to hone in your accuracy and technique. When you visit, be sure to mention that you're a listener to the Bowhunting AZ podcast. Let's all support local. National Automotive Repair is a locally owned and operated auto repair shop in the heart of Phoenix, Arizona. Jake McLaughlin and his team operate their business with a foundation of honesty, quality, and integrity. From routine oil changes to larger mechanical repairs, National Automotive can solve your issues and have you back in operation. The shop is located right off of I-17 and Thunderbird off Sweetwater Avenue, or call Monday through Friday from 8 a.m. to 5:30 at 602-978-3278. Real estate agents, are you looking to make your listing stand out? Arizona Listing Media has been transforming real estate listings since 2013 with their 5-star Google-rated services. Arizona Listing Media offers stunning photography, captivating drone footage, immersive 3D tours, and engaging video reels to showcase your properties at their very best. Are you ready to elevate your marketing game? Visit ArizonaListingMedia.com and book your session today. Let's make your next listing unforgettable. What is up, everybody? Welcome to another episode of the Bowhunting AZ podcast. Oh, yeah.
I'm in charge of the DJ board now, baby.
Let's go. I got my man Jake on the boards today. Today's episode is going to be part 1 of 2, and that is going to be Arizona OTC Archery deer season, December and January rut hunts, part 1.
Getting them ladies, baby.
Part 2 will be from hunt to harvest.
Sweet. You want me to hit that up?
Team me up.
I got you, homie. I got you. Yeah,
Hey, I'm Steven, and this is my boy Jake.
Yeah, you already know, son.
Let's
You already know.
If you guys have been following us for a while, you know who we are. If you're new, welcome. We kind of started this whole journey back in 2018. Actually, when I was hiking today, I wanted
It was
to hike.
2019, wasn't it?
2018.
Oh, yeah, 2018.
Yeah, I was talking to Jason about that. So I went on a hike today with my boy Jason, and I was actually talking to him. He said, "When did you meet Jake?" And I was like, "Oh, it was when I was trying to do that OTC elk."
Yeah, the over-the-counter elk.
And I was in your shop getting stuff worked on, and we started talking. You asked what I was doing, and then I kind of fast forward a little bit. And remember when I ran into you in
it was like
the
turkey
forest?
hunting or something like that. I
No,
think
it was OTC deer season.
Was it?
Yeah, I think it was in December. And I ran into you, and I had my Camry, and you had your
Yeah, dude, I was
Ranger.
surprised you were back in that area too, bro.
Yeah, man,
See, that Camry guy, dude.
Toyota should sponsor me with the Camry. Be like,
Dude,
check us
they
out.
should, bro. They should hit that. No, that's not the right one.
Oh, wow.
That's not the right one. No, hey, you always do this to me. There you go. All right, there you go.
That Camry will get anywhere, man.
Just ask the pops. You know what I mean?
That's a great story. We'll have to tell that one sometime.
But yeah, dude, I remember that. I remember you came into the shop one time just because I think your dad was neighbors and then just like came in.
Yeah, our dads are neighbors. Yeah, and so I think we had a snag. We would usually tackle most mechanical things ourselves, but I think we had hit a snag on something that I just didn't want to mess with, and so it was like it's just easier to pay somebody else to do this than to try and do it ourselves.
And then just me just being same old me, just greeting people every day, you know what I mean? Just like, hey, what are you doing?
Yeah.
Like, oh, shoot. Are you going hunting? Oh, I'm going hunting. Where are you going hunting?
Yep.
And then that was like the only time right then was over-the-counter elk. So I was like, oh, you're doing over-the-counter elk?
It's probably in like April or something, I bet.
It was something where it was like that was the only thing available.
Yeah,
so.
yeah. Yep.
But yeah, that was fun.
Heck yeah.
That was cool. That sparked up a friendship that lasts forever, dog.
Heck yeah. So thanks for listening, guys. We appreciate you all joining. There's an audio version of this. There's also a video version over on YouTube if you guys like to watch the video podcasts. Particularly this episode, I'm going to throw out a few pieces of equipment for the video, but I'll describe it really well in the audio version.
Yeah. The video is going to be awesome because we're going to show it.
Yeah, I figured I'd spice it up and bring a few props this time. You know what I'm saying?
Dang.
Yay!
Anyways. Oh, man.
Oh, boy.
But yeah, so we're going to have a good episode. It's going to be fun, man. We're going to talk about a lot of experiences that we've had. We're also going to kind of more or less just tee it up with Steven because I didn't get much to do this year in OTC. I was busy with the shop and business. So Steven was able to get out and do some things and successfully harvest a nice buck this year. So actually, this week he came in for an oil change. I was like, so you put in for deer? He's like, I can't. I was like, oh, okay. All right.
Yep.
So, but yeah, we'll tee it up a little bit and go from there, man.
Successfully drawing a bonus point.
There you go. How many years have you been doing that?
A few.
Yeah, you've got what?
Actually, no,
3 or 4 years now, right?
I got that. When did I get that buck? That coos. That was 2022, wasn't it?
The coos. Oh yeah, rifle.
Yeah.
That's true.
So, yeah.
So yeah, that was last year, huh?
I think 2023 was the only year that I didn't get a deer. Maybe. I don't know.
Anyways.
Anywho.
Well, cool, man. I mean, I guess you want to just start right into it?
Yeah.
Sweet. All right, let's do this. So I guess let's just pretty much talk about this. I mean, differences between, rut and rut in December and January. I mean, have you noticed? Maybe it's differences within like certain animals, what the activity's like. Maybe there's like a time when you've kind of already noticed like when that switch hits. You know what I mean?
Yeah. And probably to stipulate this too, like there's going to be a difference in elevation wherever you are in the state. Cause like if you're hunting up, north, I think the deer rut sooner up there just cause it gets colder faster.
Gotcha.
So cause I've seen deer up north rutting like late December.
Right.
But the bucks down where I'm hunting don't really rut until like second week of January.
Okay.
So this year, however, though, like my buck specifically was rutting January, the beginning of January.
So like early this year.
Yeah, I shot him on January 2nd.
Oh dang.
And he was
and he was moving.
All sorts of stupid. He was
he was slobbering.
He was love drunk.
Hell yeah.
So
heck yeah. Okay. So it just kind of varies, probably just depending on temperature and stuff like that, really?
Yeah, I think so. I mean, some years, it's been really, really cold up there, and some years it's been really, really warm.
Right.
I remember, I think it was 21, or no, it was either 20 or 21. One of those, it was really warm. And then the following year, it snowed.
Like whiteout, right?
Yeah. And it was like, good grief. So you can have pretty drastic, difference in environments, depending on how the year is and the weather and all that stuff. So, I mean, you've been with me there.
Yeah, I mean, we've gone into some spots where we've normally gone, and it's like, crunchy, dry, and cold. But
yeah,
but nothing crazy. And then I remember a year when we went in there and it was freaking foot of snow. You know what I mean?
Yep.
Freezing our butts off, man.
Remember we were doing that time we did the Tech Tip Tuesday and it was like hailing and thunderstorming.
Up there. Yeah.
We were like,
all right, guys, this is what you're doing. This is like a freaking black abyss.
your Tech Tip Tuesday of the week. It's like, we're all huddled under a pallet rating.
I just remember seeing that black cloud coming over, like, oh, that's gonna hit, dude. Yeah, that's gonna be gnarly, bro.
It's like, crap.
And you're on the tippy top of a mountain, you know?
Yep.
Like, oh, shoot.
No places to hide, really.
Well, I guess I could kind of go into our next segment, bro. Like,
Okay.
About the highs and the lows of the situations, man. Whether that being, the animals not playing out for you or the weather not wanting to play out for you too, man, you know? And there's so many different situations that can happen. I remember personally where we ended up, the Jeep broke down. So we ended up having to hike in 5-6 miles or whatever and did all fine. And then as soon as we get back to the Jeep, I just got right onto the road and just freaking twisted my ankle and hit it pretty good, dude. And then that set me back quite a bit. I mean, we still went and hunted the next day, but it could still hanker a situation. You know what I mean? So,
for sure.
I remember we seen them deer the next day and we were like, oh shoot, we got to go move. And I was like, yeah, you just go, dude. I'll meet you there, man. I'm not going to be there that quick. I got to hobble along.
Yeah.
So
that was a rough one. I remember that. Your ankle was kind of messed up for a while too. Jake's getting over a cold, so if he hear a couple coughs, that's why he's
yeah. But yeah, I mean that's another situation where some things are uncontrollable and just set you back, and then you're like, oh shoot, there's nothing I can do, and then you're in a slump, and you feel down, you can't do nothing, you're not sure, or other situations. But what's some situations do you remember that stick out?
A couple things. I mean, I think this is our second deer season going in where we've got quotas.
Oh yeah.
And I remember feeling like just an immense amount of pressure,
of trying to get it done.
First off, trying to get it done. I've always wanted to do a back-to-back December, January harvest.
Have you yet?
No, I haven't.
Okay.
No, I've done an opening day and a closing day. So I did opening day of August. Remember?
I remember that.
Opening day of August.
You remember
OTC.
that?
Oh yeah. That was the velvet buck up there.
Yeah, that's an awesome buck.
And then I did a closing day of OTC with one of these little guys down here below us. But those are both coos. So that was both archery.
That was a coos.
Both archery coos.
And I helped you with that one too.
You did. Yeah, you brought me some freshies on that one. That was dope.
That one I did.
You walked up to me. I could see your headlamp bobbing down the trail, and then I see you walk up. I see your, and I was like, "Oh yeah." You're like, "Course."
Congratulations, bro. I think these are well needed.
So yeah, the feeling that pressure of the quota for sure, hitting it in January or December, but I think an extra amount of pressure was added even more as you're watching units start to fall and close. And you're like, crap, now it's really on me to get it done, because I'm also thinking this unit is open and hunters are going to see that and start coming here into my spot.
So yeah, if they start seeing other units close, then they're like, oh, well, I can't hunt there no more. What else is still open? And then they're going to start flocking to that unit.
Yep.
So
that was kind of always in the back of my mind. Secondly, I had a absolutely flawless stalk on a buck this December. I was very, very proud of myself and just completely executing this perfectly. And he was down in a little wash bottom.
Okay. Like a little ravine.
Yeah. And I was elevated above him. I think it was like 47. He was kind of
nice, dude.
Yeah, he was meandering because he was eating the grass. There was a bunch of like short, three, 4 inch green grass from it had just rained pretty good and stuff. So there was some good foliage.
Well, yeah,
around.
this is what, January?
December.
December.
Yeah.
Okay. So yeah, usually
like,
you still have some late rain and late
stuff
like that.
Second week in December. Because I think it opens December 15th.
I think it opens the second week of December.
So it was like I was only a couple days into it.
Okay.
And beautiful buck, big 3x3, and nice and wide. I remember how wide he was. Sometimes those mule deer, man, they go way out, and he did that. He was very wide, and so I was like, heck yeah, I stocked it perfect. But I had this Palo Verde that was about my height, kind of between me and him, and I didn't really have a good play around it.
Okay.
And they had a little like crevice kind of taken out of it to where I could kind of have a shooting window, but I had to like really kind of, when I drew, I had to really kind of canter my bow kind of weird. It wasn't a super comfortable shot.
Like a trad shot or something,
yeah,
you know? Like,
yeah, I wasn't that, it wasn't
tilt
that
the bow
bad,
over,
but it was more of like, I guess it was more of me cantering my torso to try and
to lean over.
Yeah. Cause I mean, I look at my level, so I try and keep my bow level no matter what.
Right.
But at the end of the day, it was like me kind of leaning to get my bow around this bush.
So you're torquing the string angle there.
And he had actually, in the process of me kind of getting ready to take the shot, he, kind of almost pegged me. You know how they'll like look over and they hear something, they'll stare for a good minute. It feels like, it always feels like they stare for like 3 to 5 minutes, but it's probably like 30 to 45 seconds. And then he put his head down.
Same with like elk too.
Yeah.
You feel like you're like stopped and you're like knee down or whatever. You're hunched over.
Oh,
you're
yeah. You get that pain.
Your leg just starts cramping.
Something falls asleep. Yeah.
Dang it, dude. Hurry up and move.
So that's the rodeo that I went through. And then he put his head back down and started feeding again. And I was like, all right, this is still on. And I think that's when, because I rearranged right there. And I think I remember him tipping over into the 50-yard range because he was kind of feeding up the opposite side of this wash.
Okay.
But I mean, that's still a shot that I feel very, very comfortable taking, like no problem.
Yeah.
So I remember shooting and it went like an inch or two over his back. Or was it over his back? Hold on. No, I remember now it was dead between his legs is what it was. So I was low.
So you were low.
I was low. I hit there was a bush that I had previously ranged. So typically when I'm in a situation like that, I'll range an object so I know ballpark of like what that is.
Right.
So anyways, after this whiffed shot, he runs off and I was so pissed.
It's kind of one of them areas, right?
Yeah. And I'm super harsh on myself, man. I probably shouldn't talk to myself the way I do, but I'm like,
I noticed that.
I'm like, you dumbass. Like that was an easy shot. You should have had that all day. That was a dead deer all day long. And I'm pretty hard on myself. But I try not to get in my head too much and sucked it up. And I stalked him. Actually, I got another like 2 or 3 plays on him.
Okay.
Probably like 60, 70 yards, but no shot opportunity. So that was a low for sure. I think another low that we hit, not really, well, I guess kind of for me, but I took a buddy out there that hadn't been hunting in a while.
Okay.
I really wanted to get him a deer. And unfortunately, we just had a bad shot and we never recovered the buck. It was a younger one. So
okay.
It was just kind of a taken opportunity, on a stroll out of there pretty much. But that kind of sucked. I mean, that's still
leaves a pit in your stomach. Yeah,
absolutely. You always want to recover. And he went out the next day and gave it, 110%, trying to find it and relocate it and all that stuff and track the blood as much as we could. But still just
sometimes it just doesn't happen, man.
I mean, and that deer had a 50-50 chance of it was his legs were hurt, so he was fine. He probably could have walked around and recovered.
You shot him in the leg. He's probably gonna be good.
Yeah. Man. But
deer are resilient, man. They are.
Yeah.
But
after
you always, especially when you're trying to put in all the effort, you want to make sure you get it done, and recover it, and all that. Be ethical,
For sure. So yeah, that was a couple lows that I hit.
Well, let's switch up the scenario now. Let's talk about some good things, bro. Let's talk about some highs, man.
So some highs.
Let's talk about some Spicolis, bro. Some highs, dog.
Some highs.
I can think of one, but
what's that?
when you shot your first buck in 2019, and you ended up sending me a text. It was Friday afternoon.
Yeah.
and you're like, just shot a buck. And it was like 5 o'clock or something. Like, I just getting off work.
Talking archery or rifle?
Archery.
Okay.
And I was like, oh, shoot. All right. And then so I like zoomed up with the Jeep.
Yep.
Like, I don't know how fast I made it up there, dude. But
I remember hearing you coming down the road. I said, I could hear you gear shifting and everything. I'm like, good. Like, this is a loose dirt back road. I
was like, I gotta hurry up and get out, dude. I gotta help him, bro.
You came from your house, which was like 59th and Glendale, up to this spot, which is probably like an hour and a half. I felt like you were there in like 45 minutes.
Yeah, dude. I remember going up the hill and like almost swerving, like, oh shoot. I was going like 90 up this hill.
In
dude.
a big old lifted Jeep with knobby tires. Like, it's not the
like
most stable
RPMs
thing.
pegged up high, you know what I mean? Yeah. But I remember that. And then like walking in with a headlamp and my phone.
Yep.
And I was like, oh, Steven, what's up? You got a buck down, dude.
That's part of our intro.
Yeah.
Yep.
Got a buck down, dude.
Buck down.
Heck yeah. That was a high for me, at least, that I remember.
For sure.
You know?
Oh, yeah. 100%. Man, highs and lows. Highs for sure. Like for this season, highs were some physical fitness, I guess. I had conquered some like previous knee pain that I had been having a lot, which I felt like was really going to hinder me this season, being able to get in and do stuff.
Especially the area you got to go to where you've been going lately. You've got a 1,000-foot incline. You know what I mean?
Easily. Yeah. That's
Of hiking.
That's on a short day.
Yeah. So 1,000 feet of elevation hiking, you know what I mean?
Sure. Average day
easily.
10 to 13 miles round trip. while
Right. So
doing
you're
stuff,
moving, man.
But I had really started doing some more like cardio and endurance in October and everything. We'll cover that more later. But
Yeah.
this was the first season that I had zero knee pain, no problems ever. So that was a big
It's
high.
an accomplishment, man. Yeah.
A big high for me, and kept a real positive mental attitude around me the entire time. Even during those lows, I was still like, well, I feel good. Like, let's go chase it again. Like, come on, let's go. You know, and sure, I felt sore at times, but it was never like, there's a difference between, I can go through soreness, no problem. But when pain starts to accumulate and I feel like my knee's going to give out and I'm wearing a knee brace, like,
Yeah.
you know, that kind of sucks.
I wore ankle brace and keep going, man.
Yeah,
You know,
yeah.
I just don't ever want to be the hindrance. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Especially when we're hunting together. It's like, I don't want to be the person that sets somebody behind, you know, from them possibly being successful, or giving me the shot to be successful as well. But
Yeah.
yeah, I think that's why it's good to have another companion or another buddy to hunt with too, is to just help you guys motivate each other. Because dude, there's a lot of lows, man. There's a lot of days when you go hiking, and you know, some days you might not be able to even get a stock on an animal.
Sure.
And it turns into a hike. It's not a hunt, bro. It's a hike.
It's
you
a
know
hike.
what I mean?
You're bow hiking.
Yeah, you're hiking your bow, dude. So that's having somebody there to have the camaraderie with it, you know, and to make the suck at least not that bad,
Right.
you know.
Yeah.
But then it's that much rewarding and that much more joyful when you both are there to be able to like celebrate,
Right.
You know?
Yep. Yeah, for sure. I mean, that was a high this year, was having good friends that I could count on. That's always just a big treat, man, to have people that'll drop anything for you at the, you know, at a phone call, you know,
Yeah.
or
Yeah,
a text or whatever.
Yeah.
But I'm trying to think what other highs I had. Long range, being able to reach out more with my bow. So I had bought, and I know this is another segment later too, but I had bought one of those 365 targets from, shout out AZ Archery Club.
Get that plug, dog.
Yes, sir.
Get that. Oh, no.
There you go. Go see our boy Eddie. He'll take care of you. Yeah, I bought that 365 target and just wanted to really stretch out, because I had been having a real limitation with getting close. You know, this is very open country. It's not like you have trees to bounce from very much and stuff. I mean, I can't tell.
There's trees to bounce from,
Yeah.
but still, it's very open though, man. Depending on your area where you hunt. If you're up in the pines, then yeah, I mean,
That could be open too.
it can
You're in
be.
the pines.
It can be, but a lot of that is
You can kind of bounce from tree to
CQB,
tree.
dude. You know,
Yeah. So
close quarters, but
I just needed to extend my range, and so I really focused on shooting 70, 80, 100 yards, and I was doing really good. I feel very confident in shooting 70 and 80 for sure. I'm not going to.
We'll get into that topic a little bit too, but yeah, that's definitely a high because that builds your confidence up. So
yeah, for sure. So I was
but
really looking forward to that.
Well, with that experiences, with the highs and lows you've had already previously, what is is there any differences you've had with the previous seasons that you feel like you might have grown in differences with this season? I mean, was there anything different that you've noticed or experienced?
I think I grew as a hunter, and I'm not trying to like say that in a egotistical way, but I mean, I passed 3 or 4 different bucks before I shot the one that I shot.
Yeah.
And
you think that's because you've gotten these deer under the belt, you know what I mean? And now you want to try and push yourself a little bit more with a little bit of a challenge. And
I think before I was hunting, and I still, it sounds weird saying this, before I was hunting purely from a meat standpoint,
right?
And I still am, but I'm confident in the fact that I'm going to get more opportunities in the future, even in passing a gimme.
Okay.
If that makes sense.
Yeah.
Because good grief, I had a, 2 or 3 year old fork
right
in front of me on the first day at 30 yards and was like, oh, dude, I could smoke this immediately right now.
Right.
And it was like, yeah, no, I just watched him and hung out. I think I even took a selfie. I think I sent you, I took a selfie with them or whatever.
Well, and that comes with experience too now.
Yeah.
I mean, how long have you been hunting,
Since 2018. So almost 6 years. Is that 6 years? Yeah.
5 years?
5, 6 years.
Or no, 6 years.
6 years.
So, I mean, that comes with experience, 6 years now you've gotten some experience.
Yeah.
And,
I mean, if that was 2019, Steven, he would have killed that deer immediately.
Right.
100%, which is fine. There's that's within our regulations and stuff. So,
yeah.
Man,
but now it's evolving and growing as a hunter, and trying to, and there's nothing wrong with this either too, holding out for something that's better and bigger. And, like you said, there's knowing that there's going to be opportunities later on too. So
yeah, I just wanted to shoot a good mature buck this year.
Yeah, man.
And so yeah, that was kind of different from the previous seasons. Trying to think what else was different. I guess like just to echo myself again was the quota thing. Just expecting, and I think we'll see it. We're still kind of in the early stages of it. I mean, we might see it play out more where later in the seasons, more people start flooding units.
I was going to say, have you seen that where like more pressure now?
Yes and no. Where the thing is just push farther back, and there's still plenty of deer,
road hunting route.
Yeah. There's still plenty of deer around there. I'm not seeing any less, but I definitely see some more pressure for sure.
Okay.
But I don't know. Not enough to bother me immensely or really. I guess it's more of just a self worry in my own head.
Okay.
But
well, I mean, we're going to talk about rut, man. So,
Rut Daniels
catching deer.
Didn't go 20.
No, but with deer season, you know what I mean. Obviously, OTC is usually in the rut, pretty much. For mule deer and coos. I don't know, man. I'm conflicted with it, because there's some times where like if you're hunting deer and they're in the rut, they're occupied. That's the whole idea of it,
right?
And you can usually try and get in closer, blah blah blah. Dude, we found out the hard way sometimes though. Well, they've got like 6 extra eyes with them now, bro. So now it makes it even a little tougher. Because for me, I've never tried calling in deer. Or I've never really rattled deer either in. I've just never done it. So I don't know if that's maybe something I'm missing out on and should be doing. But otherwise, it's like you're playing the stealth game and you're trying to sneak up in on some deer to catch them. You know what I mean?
Yep.
But next thing you know, this huge buck's got friggin' 6-8 does with him. Now you got that much more set of eyes.
Yeah.
And I remember when we were hunting one time and we saw this buck pushing like 5-6 does. We're like, all right, we're gonna have to make a play. And we tried making plays, and finally we're like, all right, let's just sit up here. I went to go get up real quick. We're like 300 yards away, dude. I went to go get up real quick underneath this tree to get like a little snack out of my backpack.
Yeah.
And then Steve was like, yep, they're moving. I'm like, what? I was like,
They
no
pegged you
way,
so
dude.
fast.
I was like, what?
I think we were between 300 and 400 from there. And I remember they were under that tree. They had kind of moved up towards a tree. And as soon as you stood up, I was like, oh, they just pegged you.
Yeah, dude. And then it was a chase again. I was like,
Yeah.
what? Oh my gosh.
It happens. Yeah.
So for me, I don't know if rut makes it any easier than in OTC versus, early OTC, where there's no rut. And that's mainly to me, it's a water, ambush style hunt.
Yeah, I think it's easy. I think it's kind of a trade-off, really, because, if they're not rutting, the bucks are kind of either, bachelored, maybe 2 or 3, or solitary
just
by
single,
themselves. But it's a heck of a lot harder to find them. I can tell you that. Whereas in the rut, I mean,
You find the does.
you find a group of deer, they're all clumped together, and it's pretty easy to find them. And the bucks are absolutely stupid. But like you said, it's just trying to get,
Yeah.
close enough.
Yeah.
Because you got a ton more eyes on you. So
Yeah, dude.
yeah, I've noticed that because there will be times when I hunt in the earlier part of the December, January hunt, and those bucks are still solitary. And it's a little bit tougher because, they're a lot more wary. They're,
Right.
An old buck is smart. They're very smart.
Oh yeah. That's why he's still there, man.
Uh-huh. And so trying to stalk one's tough.
And that's why that's why they say like bears normally or mountain lions are usually 6, 7 years old, 5, 6 years old,
Yeah.
older animals because they're smart,
Yep. Yep. So yeah, I don't know, but that's
he knows when the sun goes down and when the
Oh,
people
yeah.
are out and or where to step out and where not to, and
Yep.
might be love drunk, but still got to live too,
Yeah.
But-
I like the love drunk scenarios where you can get a buck peeled off and he's only got 1 or 2 does.
Okay.
If you can get, if you have a herd of deer and there's 8 or 9, but he'll peel off like 1 or 2 does that are hot and heat, and you can get them by themselves, then I feel like I can beat those odds. Whereas if he's got 9 does and he's I'm like, oh crap, this is gonna be tough.
We're gonna have to wait this out, man.
Uh-huh.
Yeah,
Yep.
exactly. And that's what we tried to do until I guess this freaking doe spotted me at 300 yards.
She was like,
It's like, oh no, we gotta go.
Not
I was like,
today.
what? Okay, dang. Yeah, that was ridiculous, dude.
man, she had your number, dude.
She needed to delete it, bro.
Yeah.
I didn't give her that number, bro. Somebody did.
Well, she had it
Shoot.
whether you wanted it or not.
Man.
Oh my gosh.
So yeah, as far as like, making plays and differences, obviously rut season versus a non-rut season, what's the tactics? What's the differences that you see out of that or feel out of it,
Yeah.
when trying to make a stock or how do you approach that hunt?
So during the rut season, typically that's when I'm very much kind of rhythmic in my approach, in the sense of like get up high before sunrise,
Okay.
get ready in your glass and spot. And I know the moment I find deer, I know there's going to be a buck over there,
Okay.
especially in that like second week of January.
So I'm going to stop you for a second.
Yep.
So do you wait and check out to see what those deer are, or do you instantly try and start moving in over there?
Well, 2019 Steven would just go over there.
There you go.
This year, I'm like, all right, let me
gauge it out,
I'm going to
yeah.
inspect. Yeah. Is it a buck that I
2019 Steven would definitely rush over there. I
Like,
know
oh.
from firsthand.
deer we're going?
Yeah, exactly. We gotta move, dude. We gotta move. I'm like, I don't even know what it is. We gotta go.
It don't
they're,
matter.
They're gonna go over. They're gonna move. They're gonna go over that hill.
I
We
just
gotta
want
go.
to get
I
in
was
front
like,
of them. Yeah.
Jesus. All right.
So this year definitely was like a kickback of feel everything out, kind of like wait and see what
Right.
caliber of buck is over there. Also, hand in hand with that is what are my play options over in that area? Because now I know this territory.
You're smart now, dude.
Now I know this territory very well. So I'm like, okay, I know what's over there. I know what rollers there are. Like I
Right.
can kind of see what direction he's moving. I know.
You're more observant now.
Mhm. Yeah.
I've noticed. before you were always like gung ho, dude, and I would always be like, well, let's see what it does. Like, no, we got to go.
Yeah.
So that's good. I think.
Yeah.
I think it's good.
I think that's a maturing process of a hunter.
Yeah. Yeah. So I think that's a good thing, man.
Yeah.
I remember you used to always talk about wanting to try and learn to be more patient. But
Oh, for sure. Learning to be more patient, just all around. But yeah, definitely in more of tactics and shot process too, probably.
okay.
When to shoot, when not to shoot.
But yeah, so back to this though. You're obviously talking about rut season.
Mm-hmm.
You're getting up early, trying to find them, spot them, see what they're going to end up doing. You kind of gauging the landscape. What about non-rut? You know,
Yeah.
because you've dabbled in both. So
Yeah. Kind of this year in particular, you know, that December time frame, I kind of have an idea where the bucks are before they're, you know, with does and stuff.
right,
So kind of just hanging out in there. But again, man, it was only like 1 or 2, maybe 3 on occasion. And they're never really on top of each other. They're kind of, you know, 75, 100 yards apart.
okay,
So kind of just watching them. In fact, I was talking to Jason this morning on our hike. I said, I remember last year was the first time I think I'd ever completely glassed a buck up just from his antlers. That's all that was visible. So learning to look for things like that because they can hide very well.
right,
You know, learning to what to spot and all that stuff. So
right. Trying to find, you know, looking
Yeah.
meticulously, looking under trees, under bushes. Just a lot of glassing, right?
a lot of glass time.
I personally,
Mhm.
and I'm gonna just throw this out.
Okay.
I would rather hunt pre-rut than
Okay.
hunting rut.
Yeah.
I feel, and maybe this is just with coos deer hunting, and
Yeah.
I don't know as maybe as much about with mule deer, but I've noticed that they are a little bit more patterned.
Okay.
So if you know, and then they're very territorial. They like to stay in the same area quite a bit too.
Yeah.
If you can end up spotting where that coos deer is, then usually you could try and make a play on them later on that day or the next day and get up even earlier and try and position yourself a little bit more.
Sure.
But as a pattern, you can end up getting in there.
Yeah. Well, that's how I ended up shooting my, what's it called? Velvet.
Yeah, the 2019 buck.
My velvet buck. Yeah. I knew they were specifically walking up this one specific gauntlet. And so that's where I set my blind and ambush shot him.
Right.
I didn't know I was going to shoot that velvet buck, but I knew that there was coos deer bucks walking up through there.
That's pretty much how we shot my coos buck with my rifle too.
Yeah.
Because we seen a big buck. I actually seen 3 of them.
Mm-hmm.
The day before, we ended up kicking 2 of them.
Yeah.
And we're like, all right, we know they're in this little ravine, this little area.
Right,
Let's kind of scoot over there early in the morning and catch them rolling in.
Yep.
And that's exactly what we did. So,
Yeah.
I don't know. I think that's my motto, and I'm sticking
Yeah.
to it. Pre-rut, baby. You know
Sure.
what I mean?
Sure.
Then you don't got all those eyes on you too.
It's
So,
just freaking hot though, man. I mean, if we're talking archery specific, I mean, you're hunting in August,
yeah, August,
that's
or if you could do it early before, like early,
December.
yeah, December. You know,
Yeah. Or if you're
So.
lucky and you get a rifle tag, I guess.
or if you're lucky and get a rifle tag. Yeah,
But yeah, that August OTC is no slouch.
that's tough, man. Yeah, because it's hot. It's super hot.
Yep.
Depending on where you're hunting too, but even then, it's still up north. It gets warm.
I think I told you the day I shot my velvet, I was like, all right, I've done it once. I'm never doing it again.
I think you pretty much have, because I was like, I might go sit that blind. You're like, yeah, dude, go ahead, because I'm never sitting that thing again. I was like, okay.
I hate the heat, man. I cannot stand being hot. I absolutely hate it with a passion.
Dude, I hate being hot, but I hate being freezing cold, dude.
Yeah.
Like, I hate getting so cold
Yep.
to where it just shakes you and no.
I don't mind the cold.
Yeah, okay. Well, whatever, dude. That's not true. One time we got really cold. You're like,
Yeah. On the mountain when it was
got you
windy.
to the bone,
yeah,
dude.
that
Yeah.
got me.
Yeah,
I think
the wind sucks.
The wind was not fun.
Yeah, I mean, so how do you use that rut to your advantage then? I mean, would you just say pretty much like trying to get them to to pick off another doe and go on that route, or
Yeah, I mean, it's just going to be a lot of trial and error, and like I said, trying to get that moment to where you can either peel him off or get on the right side of the herd where the buck is, if he's trying to get him closest to you, where you have a shot opportunity, and
right.
avoid those eyeballs. And
Do you feel that rut hunting, like obviously hunting in the rut, I'm just gonna say rut hunting from now on, but hunting the deer in the rut, do you feel like you end up getting more play options? Like meaning, like if you end up busting the stock, that you can kind of feel a little bit confident that you might be able to get back on them again, versus like for me, early season, if you bust that deer, he's gonna be gone, dude.
Right.
Yeah. He'll probably come back again that next day, but he's gone for that day, man. Good luck, you know?
It sure seems that way. I mean, on occasion, if you don't spook them real bad, you'll get a second play, in a couple 100 yards. But overall, in terms of rut activity, as long as you don't really, 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 really bust those does out of there, that buck's probably going to
like, God,
surprise! Yeah.
Like a Cracker Jack box or whatever, or Jack in the Box.
So I had,
Gotcha.
I was sitting down and eating lunch, and I had a group of like 12 does literally walking right to me, and they were already so close, I didn't want to get up and leave.
Gotcha.
Fortunately, there was only like a couple spikes and stuff in there and some forks, but I was like, they had already moved so much on my position. I was like, well, I'm just going to sit here and keep eating my sandwich, And
maybe they were hungry, dude.
They did. They got to like 30 or 40 yards, and they realized I was sitting there on that rock, and then they busted out of there pretty hard. But as long as you don't really booger them up too bad, I think you'll probably get another play in like 200 yards. They'll calm down, and don't go chasing after them right away. Just sit real still and let them kind of be a little curious and chill out a bit. And
so I feel like that's one thing that's a little bit of a difference then, definitely.
Wait maybe like an hour to 2 hours, somewhere in that
Eat your snack
range.
Or something.
Yeah, just calm down.
Or
and
glass a different area.
Make sure
quick.
you're not upwind of them.
Yeah.
And try again.
Well, what's some things you've learned from the mistakes you've had from previous seasons and this season too as well? But I mean, you've already kind of hit the nail here a little bit on some of your previous seasons about jumping the gun and rushing it. Now you're learning to be a little bit more patient. And I'm gonna give you a little applause for that.
Thank you.
You guys don't know, man. Every time he was always like a freaking mountain goat and a billy goat, where every time he would see something, he's like, all right, we're going, boom. I was like, wow, I just got up here, man. I'm gonna get me a glass of.
You're like,
I need to drink
down.
some water and sit. He's like, oh no, we gotta keep going. I'm like, oh my gosh, dude.
Yeah.
So, no, that's good.
I think that'll forever be a continuation. You'll never reach.
Never smell?
Yeah, you'll never reach. Your maximum patience. Probably we can always get better. So yeah, I think it's just that continuing to grow in that area. I think stalking this year, I learned a bunch. After having that big, I guess confirmation that I was doing the right thing and got 40 to 50 yards on a good sized buck. I was like, heck yeah, like, all right, I'm doing this right. And I was the entire way while I was doing it, I'm just like, slow down, take your time.
Yeah.
And it was like, usually I'm rushing. I'll be like, oh, I can kind of probably tip over this bush without making a sound. I tell myself little things like that, and that's what ends up screwing it up for me.
Yeah.
And this time I was like, no, I was like, walk real slow, like very slow. Take your time. And then it did. And it got me right in the pocket.
It got you close enough. Yeah.
Yep. So that was just really set it in stone.
Patience is key, man. Like when I made that stock on that, 2x3 or whatever it was. I remember I was just like so slow. And then I remember even sitting there, I was like, the deer's got to be like right here.
Yes.
And I kept trying to flash you down with like a reflection of my phone and all this and waving my bow. And you're like, no, I can't see you. I was like, what?
I think that's
And then I was like,
else.
is the buck still down or bedded down? He's like, yeah, just chilling. I'm like, all right.
He was, man. He was holding tight.
And I sat down for like a good 15, 20 minutes because I was like, he's got to be like right here, dude.
Mm-hmm.
And then I remember I was like, well, I'm not here to just sit here. So I was like, all right, I guess I'll get up and move.
Yeah.
As soon as I get up and move and go right around this bush,
Yeah.
he freaking
Stood up.
stood right up and spotted me. I was like, oh my gosh.
I've kind of learned that obviously that's, that goes
like
into
25 yards,
Yeah, that goes into your gut instinct, right? And usually if your gut's telling you that deer's right around there somewhere, and probably around there
right,
somewhere. Yep. That new range finding tool also on OnX.
Dude, that's slick, dude.
Pretty
That's gonna
freaking
be
sweet.
That's gonna be a game changer, dude.
Yeah. Once they can,
That's gonna be a huge game changer.
I want to see a rangefinder that'll drop a pin for you
And link up with Onyx.
Uh-huh. Yep.
Dang,
That'd be
dude.
dope.
Hey, Vortex and Onyx, bro. You guys should get up. You know what I mean?
Right.
Make a little baby. You know what I'm
Somebody
saying?
needs to do that.
You guys should hit the bedroom, bro.
I'll take a royalty.
Yeah. Let me get some of that demo.
Free rangefinder.
But no, that'd be, dude. That'd be almost. Well, no, it's not almost. That's not as close. But I was gonna say, it's kind of like the Sig Kilo thing where you could range it and then it goes on your scope.
Yep.
And that would be even better,
pretty
dude.
dope.
But this would be sicker.
Heck yeah.
But no, that's still awesome what they ended up coming out with. So
Yeah.
That's definitely gonna help everybody in the field.
100%.
But yeah, I mean, dude, there's so much innovation coming out with hunting, dude. I mean, I remember when the range finding sight with the Garmin, I was like, what? No way, that's so sick. It's gonna be like crazy. And then it's like there's so much innovation coming out.
Yeah.
It's insane, dude.
Yeah.
But I like some situations where that we're gonna go on another topic here, but there's some situations that I remember where you drew back on a buck and like you were using that like Wise Choice or whatever or something like that. Not the Wise Choice, but the
Carter Too Simple or
Too
something.
Simple or something. It was your wife's bow release, the thumb button.
Yep.
And I remember you tried it because I was using a thumb button for a minute and I liked it. And now I'm still just stuck on a hinge. I can never get anything out of. I have to be a hinge. It's like I'm glued to it now. But but that was a situation where I remember if you could take it back, you would. Because I remember you drew back and like almost full draw on this huge big buck. I remember you telling me like one of the biggest bucks I've ever seen,
Dude.
And
not antler wise, but
body wise,
body, good,
like
God.
mass. Yeah.
Oh my gosh, man, that thing had to be close to like 2 figures. I was just stupid. Man.
Right when you drew back, the release went off because you hit your bino harness or something like that. Right,
send an arrow into orbit mid draw cycle.
Just some of the scenarios. What I'm getting at is some of the scenarios we've had where just things don't go the way you want them to, man.
Yeah,
you know.
Yep.
What's some other situations that you could think of or remember where like, man, you think you have it all in the bag and then all of a sudden it just not psych.
I mean, some pressure scenarios, another hunter that you don't know is there or that you do know is there as you just kind of overlap each other's play and stock or whatever. That's happened before a few times. Man, I'm trying to think what else.
Yeah, trying to rush it,
I've had other animals ruin stuff. Coyotes and I've had a coyote walk into a deer when I was trying to stalk him and I was pissed. I'm trying to think what else is. I think that's all I can think of at the moment, but I'm sure there's other stuff.
I remember thinking I was going to be able to sit water in August OTC.
Yeah.
Yeah, and get in there and every water tank around was all filled, so it's like there's nothing you can do, you know?
Yeah.
So that was a bust. So that turned into trying to hike around in 90 plus degree weather. It sucks, dude.
No, thank you.
Yeah, exactly. But, all these things, man, what they do is they teach you to be a better hunter and just grow, right? So obviously, Steven ended up missing a shot with his thumb button, but now he doesn't use a thumb button. You know what I mean? So that's one.
Somehow that thing's disappeared. I can't find it.
I think he chucked it off the side of a cliff. No, we wouldn't litter. No. But no, that's just one plain simple scenario. Or, you learn to be patient, man. That's another thing. And it all teaches you to grow and to becoming a better hunter. You got to fail to overcome and to succeed. So, to grow as a person and grow as a hunter. So that's, to me, I don't know, failure is awesome, man.
Oh, for sure. It's frustrating and it does get you down and there's lows and all that. But at the same time, like I know at the end of the day that I'm growing out of that failure. So I'm cool with it.
Yeah, it sucks. But you know what, man, you're going to be so much better after that.
Yeah.
That's with anything. That's when it comes down to training, you know, when you're training, you're working out, you know, you're trying to get up to something and it just sucks. You got to push through that grind.
Yeah.
But then next thing you know, now you could do that exercise like it's nothing.
Heck
you
yeah.
know? So same thing, bro. But anyways, I mean, there's some other scenarios like with just becoming better hunters of situations and stuff like that. Like
absolutely.
You know, adapting with weather. Right?
Yep.
So like for me, I remember snow.
Yeah.
Where like we weren't expecting that, and we walk out there that next day, and it was like, oh shoot, we're gonna be in the snow. Okay, and so now you end up you get the chance of like actually checking tracks, you know, or sometimes even like, oh man, this scat looks way new, you know what I mean, fresh. So
right,
I don't know, there's all these different things, man.
Yes, sir.
All right. I don't know what else.
I think that's it for our part 1, pretty much.
Yeah, stay tuned, yo.
So in part 2, we'll kind of cover that a little bit more. That's going to be from hunt to harvest, and that'll kind of cover the details and the discussion on, you know, shot placement, tracking. We're going to dive into a little bit of gear setup and just kind of what I use this season in terms of gear. And that'll just be a little bit of hunting story. So
can't wait to talk about some gear, man. Some of the stuff like we were already talking about, innovation, man. Everything's growing, and the things that they're coming out with are freaking sick, dude.
Heck yeah. I'm pumped. I like where everything's going, man. It gets me fired up.
Heck yeah, man.
All right, guys. Well, thank you for joining us and for watching this episode. We'll see you in part 2.
All right.
Later. Thank you so much for listening to the Bowhunting AZ podcast. Please be sure to subscribe to the podcast and smash those 5 stars on iTunes or Spotify and leave a little review at the bottom. It'll really help us out. For our short films, go subscribe over on YouTube. Just search Bowhunting AZ. Don't forget to follow us on Instagram and Facebook at Bowhunting AZ. Good luck to everyone this season. Thank you again for listening. We'll catch you in the next episode.